What's going on? Welcome back to West Seattle. Got one I'm fairly curious about today. This is the Monsoon from Storm. So it's the solid version of last year's Typhoon. 253042 are the numbers. Fresh West Seattle Bowl house shot out here-ish. Threw a couple warm-up shots with the IQ just to wake myself up. Fresh off the press. Gonna see what we got. And right out the gate, the cover feels like it's a lot. So we'll find out and get into it. All right, well, maybe I need a couple more warm-up shots to wake up. But even though I threw that one out the window, boy, that ball got started early. You can kind of just feel it and see it. Let's break it in a little bit. Let's put a little oil in. Season it like a cast iron skillet. Or maybe I just want to throw it out. Anyway, yeah, rolls nice and smooth. It's kind of what you want when you have a solid cover stock bowling ball. This one's interesting though, because for a cover that feels and seems to be performing this strong, this doesn't come at a higher price point like some other bowling balls do. So cover-wise, seems like you're really getting your money's worth with this one. All right, that was a little closer to where I'm intending to throw it. And it's pretty smooth. It's pretty early. And that's typical of how smooth bowling balls get that smooth shape, is that they're reading earlier. They're expending their energy closer to you, so there's a little less down lane, but it can keep things safe. Surprised that 10 got knocked out. Good sign. I'm gonna move the board in, get it a little more in the oil. All right, so kind of smooth, super rolly. A ball like this, just a hair above that entry price point, you're actually getting a fair amount of differential in this weight block. And that's the Atmos AI core. Differential kind of meaning how much flare, how unstable is that weight block going to be, which adds to the hook potential, adds to the strength. All right, so a ball that reads pretty early, pretty close to you, and this one, again, you have a pretty strong cover stock and a fair amount of differential, of flare potential from the Atmos weight block. It's not always going to want you to play a big sweeping angle, simply because if it's starting early and using up its energy earlier, down lane, when you need it to corner and get back to the pocket from how deep inside you are, may not have what you're looking for. And this one, I'm kind of seeing that. It does have its limits. I'm gonna move back just a little bit. I think we should be in business. Yeah, so if you find that it's difficult to control when and where that ball is going to tip, change direction, and get to the pocket, and then even if you get there, it's not knocking all the pins out in the right way, your angle's probably off. So this ball looks nice though. I'm a big fan of really smooth, controllable bowling balls. And a lot of entry-level stuff, or at least stuff on the lower end of the spectrum of performance, typically for me tend to be a little jumpy down lane. Oftentimes because they're not strong enough to use enough energy in the middle part of the lane. And so they store a little too much, become a little sharp, and erratic is not my friend. So something like this looks like I don't have to try very hard. It's kind of keeps it nice and safe. Got it out there again. I'm missing my coffee. Anyway, yeah, still though, kind of hung out in that friction. Definitely too long. That's on me. And sometimes a lot of entry point balls are gonna be out there storing up all the energy and that dry of the house shot and then take off like a drag strip. And you saw that when it hung out there, it stored something. And then it was like, I got you. Smooth into the pocket. Kick that 10 out. This is something I think I can use a little more here at West Seattle Bowl than I can at other centers. And I found that with the Typhoon too. I loved it at older, higher friction centers, but the Typhoon doesn't come out much for me here. Maybe it isn't me. It's me, but maybe it isn't. And maybe the Monsoon just wants to show off a little. Just wants to show you can miss right, and it's got the cover to keep it steady. Not be too jumpy off the spot. But yeah, I'm a major fan of the Typhoon. Older centers, higher friction centers, like around here we have Tacoma lanes. They got some older lanes, and last summer threw the Typhoon a bit and league down there, and it rolled amazing. Here, it goes a little too long for my liking, a little too sharp, maybe a little too wiggly, but that's the point of different types of bowling balls. They can fit in different slots, different times, different locations. The Monsoon I've kind of been waiting for because I bowl mostly here. Seemed like a solid version of that would be a fair bit more usable for me here, and I think I'm seeing that for sure. Yeah, this one between this and its older brother, the Typhoon, this one matches up better with me here. A+ from me. And you might be asking yourself, what layout do I have on the Monsoon? Nothing too trick. It's my standard kind of medium symmetrical layout. In VLS, it's a 4 3/4 by 5 by 2.5. Dual angle. It's about a 50-ish by 4 3/4 by 40. So for me, it's pinned right above the bridge. Nothing crazy, right? Norm McDonald, come on out. I think he deserved that one there. Dirty dog action, 9-pin, no way. And that's with a smooth, kind of thuddy Monsoon. So that's a good sign. Drives through the pins pretty hard. A little AI core action kind of helps with that too. 9-pin got bodied. You know, you might also be asking yourself, is this ball for you? And if it is, when do you use it? So another, then we'll talk. Ring around. Well, if you have maybe faster speed and you want some cover to kind of help slow that down, let the ball do the work, I think the Monsoon's got you covered in that sort of medium performance range. If you bowl at a center or in a situation that maybe has a little more oil, whether it be somewhere here like West Seattle Bowl, or you're going out to nationals and the volume is just heavier and a trickier more difficult, flatter shot. You just need something to kind of stay stable, stay the course, but you don't need that really big ball that just gets offline too early. Monsoon. If you have high tilt and a lot of rotation, you find that your ball just kind of skates, stores, and then jumps on you, you need something to kind of blend that out, smooth it out a bit. I think the Monsoon, surprisingly to me, can do that pretty well. Also, maybe you're a bowler looking for their first bowling ball and you're desiring to go just a little bit above that true entry point, but you're not quite sure where you're gonna fit yet in that mid-range, upper mid-range, top shelf stuff. I think the Monsoon is a lot of ball at this price point. Get a lot of hook. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at that. And the type of hook it gives you is controllable, which if this is your first bowling ball, you're kind of working on your game, developing your game, this is exactly the perfect ball for a lot of players. This is, at this price point, maybe the best ball I've thrown ever. Can't believe how much hook and stability you get. The Typhoon was great for me, but it had its place. I had to be on high friction, or the lanes had to be burnt up through a lot of games, a lot of traffic, for me to really feel comfortable using it. And in that regard, I loved it. It's actually my favorite ball for that slot. This is the all-arounder. This is the one you can start with and have a nice two-piece combo. Go right from this to something like the Typhoon. Get a spare ball. There's your 3-ball bag at a price point that's hard to beat. All right, we'll throw one last one. Big fan of this. Been approved. Monsoon. I'll be using this a fair bit this summer here. Our Wednesday Summer League is the most fun, for sure. Can't wait. All right, y'all. Monsoon from Storm. Excellent piece for that middle to maybe bottom end of your bag. Might be a little too strong for the bottom end of your bag. Potentially a really good piece for even tricky, harder, flatter shots, just to have some control. I think you've probably heard Francois Lavoie shot 898 with it on a very difficult pattern, so I mean, it's got some bragging rights in that regard, so might have a look at it for upcoming nationals. But for now, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.